All three of those doctors concluded that the defendant was legally insane.
But first, Carlos Dominguez, the man found guilty on 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter connected to the 2023 Davis stabbing spree, was deemed legally insane. That ruling came down after a 10-week-long trial at the Yolo County Superior Courthouse. And we want to thank you for joining us for Fox 40 News at 6. I'm Dennis Shanahan. Nikki and Eric are off tonight. Fox 40's Juliet Smith joins us live with the very latest in this case. And today, Juliet, there were quite a few developments.
There certainly were quite a few developments here today. The day after the jury found Carlos Dominguez guilty of 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, we learned that Dominguez has actually waived his right to have a jury determine if he was legally insane at the time of those serial stabbings. Instead, the judge determined that he was legally insane at the time of the attacks that traumatized the college town. Now, it's a move that was agreed upon by both the defense and prosecution. This means that Dominguez will be going to a state hospital. The judge determined that the term of his sentence is 6 years and 4 months. However, according to the prosecution team, Dominguez has already served that full term while in custody, along with credits.
All three of those doctors concluded that the defendant was legally insane, that he had met this standard set forth. And the evidence was overwhelming at trial. When he committed the crime, he had a mental disease, that was schizophrenia. And secondly, because of that disease or defect, he was incapable of knowing or understanding the nature and quality of his act. And in fact, he was incapable of knowing or understanding that he was acting in a morally or legally wrong way. So those elements have been satisfied, and that is the verdict of the court at this time.
Now, in the coming days, the prosecution is expected to file another motion to keep Dominguez in a state hospital. Dominguez would then be entitled to another new jury trial to determine whether he should remain in custody. He will be at the state hospital at least until a jury decides whether an extension is warranted. If the jury finds that he should be kept in a hospital, he will serve a maximum of another 2 years and would then be entitled to another jury trial. If they find that he should not be kept in state hospital, he will be released. The Yolo County District Attorney's office sent us a statement shortly after the court's decision that says in part, quote, "While the guilt phase of the legal proceedings have come to an end, nothing can undo the profound loss and trauma inflicted upon victims, their loved ones, and the Davis community. Our deepest condolences remain with the families and the friends of the victims in this case. While this is not the outcome we had hoped for, we respect the role of the jury in our justice system and thank each juror for their significant sacrifice they made in serving our community." Now, we should also note that Dominguez did not take to the witness stand in this trial. He, however, did do that in the previous trial, where he did admit to stabbing all 3 victims. None of the jurors were willing to speak with us today. And that is the very latest. For now, reporting live in Yolo County, covering local news that matters. Juliet Smith, Fox 40 News.
Juliet, thank you.